Monday has become your get out of jail free card. You mess up maybe on Thursday. Maybe you overate, you skipped out on the gym, or maybe it was just a rough week. And instead of course correcting, you just wait until Monday. Like Monday's gonna show up with a restart button. But that Monday restart, that fresh start that you're looking for, is actually keeping you stuck in the same cycle that you're trying to get out of. In this video, we're gonna talk about why the Monday restart happens, why you're stuck in this cycle, why the restart creates a further problem, and what to do about it. Disclaimer, just to let you know that I am a registered dietitian, but I am not your registered dietitian. So all of this information is just for educational purposes only. Although I'm sure you're very familiar with this cycle or else you wouldn't be on this video, let's go through a little overview of what it might look like. You start off strong, you have a lot of motivation, and you have these big ideas. I'm gonna eat perfectly, I'm going to eat clean, I'm not gonna eat any added sugar, I'm not gonna eat any sugar at all. There are strict rules, there might be meal prep, there might be an exercise plan. You might be cutting out entire food groups, and you're certainly making a lot of promises and commitments to yourself. This time is different. This time I'm going to do it. I'm going to have the motivation, I'm going to have the discipline, and it's going to work. Now, most people here don't fail because they're not trying hard enough. They fail because they think consistency means perfection. They have to be perfect with every single part of this plan, or else it's a huge disaster, it's a failure, and we might as well start over. So what happens next? Inevitably, something shows up which throws you off. This can be something like stress, social commitments, going out, hanging out with people. Maybe you're invited to a work party. There might be cravings. Maybe you didn't sleep and you're completely exhausted when you come home from work that day. Maybe you honestly just didn't have time or didn't have the energy to go to the gym and work out. And maybe something really emotional came up. So you engage in behaviors you didn't want to do. You skip the gym, maybe you eat something that wasn't on your plan, and you feel guilt, shame, I ruined it, I overate, I failed. And you end up in this overeating spiral, or you don't end up going to the gym at all for the next several days, weeks, months, or even years. This is where the mentality of, I will start on Monday, or I will start on January 1st, pops up. Monday's your saving grace. Monday's your get out of jail free card. There's always Monday. But reality is, one imperfect moment led you to spiral into the Last Supper effect and make absolute use out of it. The next thing you know, you're overeating. You're finding every excuse to overeat. You're eating foods that you don't even feel like eating, but because you start Monday, you have to get those in before they're off the table, right? Before they are not on your next plan that you're starting on Monday. Why does this happen? Most frequently, people are either good or they're failing. There's nothing in between. We're not living in the gray. It's very black and white. I'm either good, I'm on, or I'm terrible, I'm a failure, I'm off plan. The real root cause of this is a mentality of perfectionism, feeling like you're morally good if you stick to a plan and eat a certain way. Foods have morality to them. There are good foods and bad foods. Therefore, if you eat the bad foods, you are bad. There's shame and rigid thinking. There's no wiggle room. And there's a huge identity attachment. If I do this, I'm good. And I am going to succeed in everything in life. And if I do it this way, I'm bad, I'm terrible, I failed, I'm a bad person, I should be ashamed of myself. When people believe that healthy eating only counts when it's perfect, one imperfect choice suddenly becomes a catastrophe. I personally know what this feels like. Okay, I'm really gonna get it together now. And it got to the point where if I even started thinking about what Monday was going to look like, this perfect plan, I would feel restricted. And then I would just sabotage all over again. It became more and more frustrating, and the shame and the guilt and the frustration only grows. So why does restarting actually create the problem? The damage isn't usually one cookie, one missed workout, one overindulgence. The damage is the spiral that occurs afterwards because we think that we failed and we fill with shame and guilt. It's the association with this one choice. And the morality and the belief of who we are is based on adherence, perfection, and attaining our goal. The reality is one cookie, one food choice, one day of workout isn't going to make a difference in the grand scheme of things. It's not going to make a difference in the long run. It's what you're doing consistently over time. And there is plenty of room for gray. Our body actually gives us a lot of wiggle room. And when we add rigidity to it, the off-track mentality actually causes more damage than that original choice ever did. The truth is, restarting, or the mentality around restarting, actually leads to overeating, binge eating, emotional eating, shame and guilt, inconsistency, and a loss of self-trust, self-belief, believing that you are capable of doing things and that you follow through on things. You feel like you can't trust yourself anymore. People spend years starting over Monday instead of learning to build consistent habits over time. You may believe that this one diet or this one way of eating or the significant short-term restriction is going to lead you to the exact body you want, the outcomes that you want, and very quickly. The reality of that happening is pretty slim. And then even if you do get to a physique or a lower body weight that you want to get to, how are you going to maintain that? It's not sustainable. People spend years starting over a Monday, and they lost that time where they could have been building habits and consistency over those years to be able to sustain the results that they're looking for. Shiny objects and crash diets are never the answer. Common thoughts may be starting Monday, after vacation, the first of the year, after this holiday, after this stress is over. When habits are made through all of those situations, and when we establish them as habits over time, they just become part of your routine, and you continue to use them through stressful times in your life, through vacation, over the holidays, and you don't feel restricted. The truth is, life is always going to be messy. You're always going to be saying, as soon as my stress calms down, maybe next Monday, or when I have a little more free time. If your plan only works when life feels more calm and controlled, then it's probably not a sustainable plan. So what actually works? Well, clarifying that consistency is not never overeating. It's not never missing a workout. It's not never emotionally eating or never struggling. Nothing is never or always in life. Consistency is returning quickly, returning to balance quickly, returning to your habits quickly. It's reducing the severity and the length of the spiral. It's continuing after your little blip that you think is imperfect. And it's staying connected to those habits that you are maintaining throughout the rest of your life. Instead of thinking, I'll start Monday, think my next choice, my next meal, my next food choice is going to be different. Think, what's the next supportive thing that I can do to support my goals? Can my next choice be to eat a balanced meal, go for a walk, hydrate, go to bed? Maybe you're tired and that's what you need. Or simply just move on. There is no reason to sit there and spiral and stew in the choice that you just made. It's not that big of a deal. Healthy people are not perfect people. They're people who don't turn one hard moment into a total collapse. The goal is not to become perfectly disciplined, to never struggle, or to continue eating perfectly. That's never going to happen. And perfect is subjective. The goal is flexibility, resilience, consistency, self-trust, and sustainability. Trust me, you will build confidence and self-trust as you calm down your expectations, as you bring them more into reality, as you take small steps and do them consistently, instead of trying to make giant changes where you have to be perfect. If you want to start making healthy habit changes and you don't know where to start, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or I've just described what you consistently struggle with, I've created a Healthy Habits Starter Kit, which outlines multiple different habits that I work with my clients on that are reasonable, sustainable, and lead to long-term success. And it's nothing extreme. It will help you build self-trust with yourself. It'll help you build confidence and self-trust. So check out the link to my Healthy Habits Starter Kit in the description box below so you can start making sustainable habits. And if this video resonated with you and you feel like you also just have trouble finding the most motivation to get started, make sure you watch this video here, which tells you all about the relationship between motivation and making health changes. I'll see you over there.